We are human. Well, hopefully you all are. I know I am, but how am I to know if you watching this are human and not a robot or some alien race? Well, for this example, I'm going to assume that everyone watching this is as human as I am. As humans, we know that the key characteristics in social interactions usually form in one place, the face. Whether we look confused, angry, sad, or happy, we usually gather this information from the face. But how does Krunker guy not have one then? Is he not human? Well, no, he is human. Let's dive right into episode 1 of Krunker Science Season 2 and explore the lack of facial characteristics on Krunker guy. I'm going to start off with a couple of disclaimers. Firstly, this theory may be sensitive to people who have had or are having a hard time with drugs, or are living with a condition called prosopagnosia. This video is not meant to trivialize these issues. It is only that the pieces fit within the theory that I'm going to propose. And secondly, I can already see the angry comments which say one of two things. Either, but what about cosmetic item faces? And you have no proof, this is just a theory. Well, yes, at least one of them is true. This is purely theoretical. As such are all of my Krunker Science videos. This is not fact in any way. It's not canon to how Krunker works as a lore, and is not coming from Krunker or any of its developers. This is just me theorizing. And yes, there are faces in the game. You might think that this completely ruins my theory from the start, but it actually only stands to strengthen it. According to my theory, you see, the faces used as cosmetic items are merely painted on, like face paints. This is in the same vein as a kid at a carnival or a fair, getting their face painted as a tiger. I would see that kid and recognise him as a kid with an amusing face paint, not jump into the bushes screaming bloody murder that there was a tiger on the loose. You see, in this social situation, I recognise the kid as a kid, for the majority of his features, mainly his stature and human-like movement. That, and the fact that the face paint would probably not be hyper-realistic, and instead look like a bubbly, cartoony-looking rendition of a tiger's face. Not much unlike the faces we see available as cosmetic items in Krunker. But what if I told you that Krunker guy actually has a face? Yes, that's right, I misled you with that title. Made you think he really had no face and he was running around blind. Whilst being completely blind could help account for the odd behaviour of guests, and it could stand as a solid theory to do with echolocation, it's not the most plausible theory. Most likely Krunker guy, as you play the game through his eyes, is suffering from a condition known as prosopagnosia, or more commonly referred to as face blindness. Do you know what? We've all been tricked into experiencing it for ourselves. You see, people who have the affliction face blindness cannot register faces in social situations, and therefore must refer to items of clothing, smell and hair to identify a person, and their body language and tone of voice for their feelings. This is exactly what we use in Krunker to identify different classes. If everyone used default classes and we saw a man with brown top and blue jeans, we would recognise him as Detective, or all purple as Vince. We do this without the use of a face, which is what people with prosopagnosia do as well. Now, face blindness is actually rather common. For example, it affects around 1 in 50 people in the UK. So, according to this statistic, and if we use this statistic for the whole world and then take into account my YouTube statistics, I can reasonably assume that 3 or 4 people watching my videos also have this condition. But what could cause such a condition? Well, the answer could be one of a couple of scenarios. The latter will probably shock you. The first way it could happen is that somewhere hundreds of years ago, only a few people had prosopagnosia. Probably quite a lot, but not many in terms of, like, compared to per capita. But after many years of breeding, now everyone has it. And this is because some forms of prosopagnosia are highly hereditary. Unfortunately, the most likely explanation, though, as gruesome as it is that Krunker guy was force-fed phencyclidine, or PCP, which led to a stroke. This has been seen in history countless times, from the Nazis using LSD to the Americans fighting in the Vietnam War using Agent Orange. Drugs have been used to induce false senses of pride and fearlessness, or just straight up turn an otherwise normal human into a killing machine. The government funding the war we see in Krunker would have no problem doing this, judging by the conditions we see Krunker Guy fighting in at the moment. Krunker Guys are forced to attack, wave after wave, millions killed every day. And what would the best way to make a fearless warrior be? Why, pump them full of mind and body altering drugs, of course. The main side effect of PCP is the lack of feeling pain and extreme rage, both of which would be extremely beneficial traits of a fearless warrior. However, PCP can cause a stroke very quickly, even after one dose if it's high enough, which in turn has a high chance to cause prosopagnosia. You see, prosopagnosia can be caused from a stroke. In fact, it has quite a high chance to be caused from a stroke if the stroke is serious. Assuming the PCP used is extremely potent to ensure rage and diminish the feeling of pain, a stroke is almost inevitable under these conditions. A corrupt government, again, would have little to no objection doing this. As long as the lives are disposable, which by the looks of Krunker Guy and how they are treated, they are, then this is an almost perfect answer to an unstoppable army, no matter how unethical and disgusting this practice is. And the side effect, or even the main effect of PCP, just stand to enhance this theory. First and foremost, it is a powerful painkiller, meaning that with enough being taken, it can lead to your body feeling completely numb. Other effects include believing things that aren't true, which is a perfect way for a government to indoctrinate a soldier into believing they are fighting for a just cause, or that they won't be harmed in the battlefield. The worst part, though, is that long-term PCP users experience severe memory loss, making them perfect for soldiers. If they have no memory of who they are or why they're fighting, but are fed lies when they're extremely impressionable, then they essentially become mindless slaves to whatever army owns them, or whatever army governs them, but at that point they aren't stoning them. All of these side effects lead me to believe that Krunker Guy is suffering from prosopagnosia, or face blindness, as a result of being exposed to high doses of PCP in a government-orchestrated attempt to create a perfect, fearless warrior. But again, that's just a theory I came up with, one that I feel explains a lot of why Krunker works the way it does, from the prosopagnosia to the memory loss caused by PCP, which in turn could explain why all of the locations and the lore behind Krunker is so ambiguous and open-ended. Hopefully this is in frame, but yeah, that's about it for this video, guys. This is the first time using this camera, so it's not one from 2002, so it should look a bit better, hopefully. I bought this for the project that I'm working on, which is why I've not really been uploading. I didn't upload last week, and there were 3 reasons for that. The first one is the fact that I was doing the project. That's still about halfway done, so hopefully it will be done by the end of this month. I think it should be, if all the pieces arrive in time, because I was ordering stuff off of the internet to get this project finished. Second reason is that I was quite busy with work. Like, work's ramped up a bit. Obviously, as you guys know, I do have a job at a bank. I work at their technology department. I work on I work on the cloud. Oh bloody hell, there's an aeroplane going over. Okay, I probably look like a silhouette now because the sun's right behind me. But yeah, so obviously I work on the cloud and I had stuff to do. Third reason is that my room was being done up a bit. I got a new bed and stuff, so I didn't really have access to my room for about half the week. Oh, and the final reason is this video took quite a long time to research as well. So yeah, just an amalgamation of all the things. Here's a clip. One of the first things I filmed with this camera, actually, in my room whilst it was being done up, or just after some stuff had been done. As you can see, it was completely empty and it stunk of paint. I couldn't really stay in there. But yeah, I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. As I've been wanting to do more Krunker Science for a very long time. But yeah, so I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.